The planet was dying. This wasn't a slow death like the withering of a tree, but a rapid, violent extinction. The skies of Rion 3, a once thriving world of reds and oranges, had turned to a sickly gray. The winds, once gentle and warm, now howled with icy bitterness, tearing through the landscapes like invisible knives. Its citizens, the Rialnans, had tried everything to stop it. But when it came to survival, they had only one hope left: a group of exiled aliens, the last survivors of a distant species whose technology might hold the key to saving them. And, deep in the heart of Rion 3's decimated capital, a reluctant hero stood facing a choice that would change the fate of the galaxy forever. The cold bite of the air hit Cass, making her shiver uncontrollably. She tugged at her jacket, but it did little to protect her against the frost that had turned every street corner into a frozen wasteland. The city, once alive with bustling markets and warm homes, now lay silent, save for the crunch of her boots against the frost. She pulled up her scarf tighter around her face, her mind racing. What was she doing here? What could she possibly do to stop the planet from dying? Her thoughts were interrupted by a soft hum, followed by the sound of metal shifting and groaning. She turned quickly, her breath forming mist in front of her face. There, at the corner of a collapsed building, was a ship, scrap metal welded together, looking like a patchwork of broken dreams. The ship was old, even for an alien vessel. Its skin was a dull silver, the remnants of once glowing technology barely hanging on. The door hissed open, revealing a figure who stepped out into the freezing air. A's form shimmered as he emerged, his blue skin faintly illuminated by the dim light. His eyes, glowing faintly with a liquid gold hue, studied her with a mixture of curiosity and impatience. "You're late, human." His voice was calm, but his expression was anything but. A's frustration was palpable, his body language stiff, like he was holding back from saying something more. I didn't expect to be welcomed with open arms," Cass shot back, irritation rising in her chest. "The planet's dying, you know." "Stop talking, human," A muttered, his voice low, almost bitter. "We're freezing. Into my bed now." His command was so sudden, so unexpected, that Cass could only blink in confusion. "You came here for my help, but if you don't want to freeze like the rest of them, you'll follow me. It's not a request." Cass's heart skipped a beat. Was he being serious? His tone left no room for argument. Her mind raced. Was this some kind of alien ritual, a test of trust? Or worse, was it some strange Rialnan custom? Her pulse quickened, the urge to fight back bubbling up in her chest, but A's icy stare stopped her in her tracks. With no other choice, Cass gritted her teeth and followed him. The cold air nipped at her skin, the city around them a ghostly landscape. The buildings looked like the ruins of a forgotten world, and the ground was blanketed with a thin layer of frost that crunched with every step they took. A's pace was swift, almost urgent, his hands clenched at his sides. After a few moments, they arrived at the ship. He didn't stop to look back, his feet pounding the icy ground as he climbed inside the vessel. Cass followed quickly, desperate to keep up. Inside the ship, the warmth hit her like a wave, a stark contrast to the outside. It was nothing like the cold that had consumed Rion 3. The walls of the interior were lined with soft blue lights, creating a sense of peace that Cass hadn't felt in what seemed like years. She stood there for a moment, trying to catch her breath, when he spoke again. "You still have no idea, do you?" Cass blinked. No idea about what? He stepped closer, his body nearly touching hers now. He stared at her, his golden eyes flickering with intensity. "The truth, human. The truth about the planet, about me, and about the reason I've been exiled." Cass could feel the air between them thrum with tension, the unspoken words hanging heavy. Her confusion deepened. What did he mean? Exiled? The last thing she had expected was to hear about his past, when all she wanted was answers about the planet's fate. What does that have to do with the dying planet? Cass asked, her voice strained. He reached out, his hand brushing lightly against her arm. It was almost too gentle, given the raw anger she sensed beneath the surface. because you and I were the only ones who can stop this. You don't realize it yet, but you're just as much a part of this as I am." He pulled away suddenly, turning to a set of glowing panels on the wall of the ship. His hands flew over the controls, and a holographic map of Realm 3 flickered to life. Cass stepped closer, her curiosity overriding her confusion. "This is how the planet's core is dying," he said, his voice more focused now. "A malfunction in the energy generators. But what you don't know is that the cause of this is not just environmental damage, it's sabotage." "Sabotage? Who would do that?" Cass demanded. A's gaze turned icy. "Someone who knew that a planet of Realnans could never survive without their technology. Someone who wanted them to fall. And that someone is my people." Cass froze. "Your people?" A nodded slowly. "I was exiled for opposing their plan. But now they're too close to finishing what they started. And if I can't stop them, your entire planet will freeze over and everyone will die. But there's still a chance." A's hands moved again, and the ship's lights dimmed as a new set of coordinates appeared. "We need to get to the core vault," he said, urgency creeping into his voice. Cass shook her head. "I don't understand. You say you're here to save them, but can you really be trusted?" I looked at her, his expression unreadable. For a moment, there was nothing but silence, and then he spoke again, softer this time. "If you want to save your planet, then yes. You have to trust me. I don't have any other choice." Cass felt her heart race. The air in the ship felt heavier now, the weight of the moment pressing in on her. She wanted to argue, to demand more answers, but she knew time was running out. If A was right, then the planet didn't have much longer. "I trust you," she said, almost without thinking. I looked at her then, really looked at her, and for a split second, the hardness in his eyes softened. But only for a moment. He turned back to the controls. "Good," he muttered. "Now let's save your world." As the ship hummed to life, Cass couldn't shake the feeling that they weren't just saving a planet. She and A were saving each other from the ghosts of their pasts and the cold future that awaited them. Together, they might be able to undo the wrongs that had led them here. As the ship surged into the atmosphere, heading toward the heart of Realm 3, A's final words echoed in her mind. "Get ready. The real battle is just beginning." And in that moment, Cass knew that everything, her planet, her future, and even her heart, would never be the same again.